Probably first met Larry in the late 70s, maybe 80. He was an electrical contractor just getting started, and his office was right down the street from where we had office, where my dad had office, which was actually just right down the street from where Jesse and his brother had office. And so we were all right there on 6th Avenue in West Huntsville. It was always a really good relationship. We were just 2 buildings apart. We talked to each other all the time. We were competitors on the arsenal, bidding work, small work in the $10,000 range, and but always real friendly, but fierce competitors, but really good friends. Spent time together after work, and just a really good relationship from the get-go. He's very deserving of the award. He's been really involved in the electrical industry here in Huntsville. He's been served on the state board. He was the proctor when I took my test for the state board, checked my code book. He just always been upstanding and added value to the electrical contracting business in Huntsville, Alabama. Well, he's always been real supportive of the apprenticeship training and ABC. And of course, apprenticeship training has been real close to my heart as well as his. He's been very supportive of it. He's sent a lot of people through and just been a good member as long as he's been in the contracting business and training people. And he's got a lot of young people here that he's bringing up through the apprenticeship program and training in project management, and still just a real influence in the business.
Larry and I came into the industry about the same time. I'm significantly older than he is, but I just got a late start compared to Larry. And he was a competitor because the market was small. We were hustling for what was out there, and Larry was a good competitor, and he was a good credit to the industry. He's done a great job. He is the kind of guy that you don't mind competing against, and you don't expect to win all or lose all. So that's the story of ethical, straightforward competition, and I admire him for it. He's been an asset to the community and to the electrical industry. I particularly admire him for the fact that I've been retired now for 13 years, and he is still plugging away at it. You do right by your customers, and that way you get repeat customers. You don't always have to be the lowest price on the street whenever you have a customer that trusts you to do what you say you'll do. The fact that you've got a low number out does not necessarily make you the best contractor on the block. There's more to it than the low dollar. And Larry obviously had figured that out a long time ago, and he does a good job for his customers, and they are loyal to him, and he in turn is loyal to them, gives them a good job for a good dollar, and they, on time, on budget, and that's what it's all about.
So I came to Huntsville in 1979 as a manager for Westinghouse Electric Supply, and he was a tough nut to crack. But we started doing business with him right after I came here, and we were not his favored supplier by a long shot, but over time that changed. And then in 1988, we left Wesco, several of us, and started Inline Electric Supply. And he was, of course, our primary target customer, and in fact gave us our first order. First order we ever got as Inline was the outdoor lighting at the Heart of Huntsville Mall, which is now being redeveloped as, I've forgotten what Constellation. So there's one of those outdoor lighting fixtures that's still standing there since 1988, and I guess it'll be torn down pretty soon. But he's historically been our largest, or one of our largest customers every year, and we wouldn't have made it, really without him. I mean, some of the first orders we placed, we came and borrowed his fax machine to place those orders because we didn't have one yet. And one time we had our waiting room chairs were old chairs that he had outgrown and donated to us. So he's been a big part of our success over the years. And he's always been a tough customer. I mean, he buys aggressively, and but if you had a personal need, as hard as he is business-wise, if you ever had a personal need, he was generous to a fault. And I've seen that with me and other people where he'd really just give beyond comprehension almost if it was someone who had a what was deemed a personal need. So hard businessman sometimes, but fair. But on the personal side, he's always said his Dr. Clemens' heart was too big, and I wasn't sure I would agree with that, but I can assure you I've seen a lot of cases where he's been really outpouring from a personal standpoint. Well, I think he's started from basically nothing and created a company that's arguably one of the best and most successful in the area. And then I say that's statewide. I mean, we have branches all across the state, and invariably some people in other areas would say, well, tell me about Larry Stewart. How does he do this and do that? And so I think his reputation precedes him in all areas of the state.
After I got out of high school, I worked a full-time job, and I got a part-time job with a company that did refrigeration and electrical work. And I worked with them a couple of years part-time, and got interested in the electrical part of it, and decided that I wanted to be an electrician. So I went to Calhoun, John C. Calhoun in Decatur, and signed up over there for the electrical technology course, 2 years, and completed that in 1971. I finally landed the job, school job, in April of '76, and that's when I officially became in business. Well, the first two people that I hired, I sort of trained both of them. Charles became the operations manager, Charles Hall, and he retired in 2015 after 39 years. Johnny Hill, second employee, he still with me. And I tried to teach him what I'd learned in trade school, which Harold Holland was probably the smartest man I ever met about electrical technology. And anyway, I tried to train some of the apprentices we had, the helpers, try to teach them. And then ABC, came along, got into that in their apprenticeship program, and I supported that. When I became head of the apprenticeship program, I managed to get us several good instructors, and they had also came through the same school that I did. Rodney Johnson was one of them, and Lyle Tipton was one of the others. And they really turned out some good apprentices. Another thing too, I was smart enough to surround myself with very smart people, honest, loyal, and I still got them. Johnny Smith, hired him out of high school, put him through the apprenticeship program. Still here today, 40 years later, and he's an estimator, project manager. So I tried to pick the best people in the business I could get. Same thing on the superintendent. Some of them came up through the ranks. Some of them we hired from the outside, but they're all great people, honest. We do anything from pole line construction, high voltage work, or anything. I've always had good relationships with the competitors in my area that I know. We've always traded tools and equipment. If they had something I needed that I didn't have, they glad to let you borrow it. I did the same thing. Always friendly competitors, and nobody ever got mad at anybody, I don't think. And been friends with them. I've known Jimmy, I guess, since, 1974. and I've known Jesse ever since I've been in business. I've known Bruce since 1978. Well, it's a great honor. You know, it's a big surprise. I had no idea that you came over here. Heather came in and told me, said, you were here and there's 3 men with her. I said, well, still didn't understand what was going on. But anyway, it's a great surprise. It is a great honor. It used to be a lot of fun. It's not a lot of fun anymore. I've been successful, and it's because of the people I have working for me. You know, I just guide them down the road, and they did work, but I'd have to attribute everything to them, mostly, you know. And if you're getting into this business, you got to learn how to work hard, put a lot of hours in it. It's not a 9-to-5 job. Back in the early days, I used to work. I'd be there at 6:30 and be there at 8:30 at night, and have, you know, work till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and just lay down and go to sleep and get back up the next morning to finish the job up. I don't do that anymore, but you know, you have to dedicate yourself in what you're doing. And you know, when you teach your people to do high quality work and insist on them doing it. And what I'm proud of is, you know, we've never not missed a deadline on a job. We always got them done on time. And usually, if we're working with a developer, we keep it in the budget.